So this weekend, Eve and I are walking the Don Valley Way. It's a 40k route that goes from Doncaster through Rotherham and finally through to Sheffield, which we should be hitting tomorrow morning sometime. There's a couple of things that's going to make this trip interesting, and unfortunately neither of them are the route. The route's pretty standard. It's mostly canal walking, paths. Unfortunately no rolling hills, but we do have the lovely River Don to keep us company. What's going to make this trip interesting is firstly the weather. It's holding out at the moment, but it's due to be rainy all weekend, and there's a chance of snow as well, which should be interesting. Second thing that's going to make this interesting is that it's the start of December, so it's going to be getting dark at around 3:30 tonight, which means we have to find a campsite kind of by 4 o'clock at the latest, really, unless we want to be pitching up in the dark, which obviously isn't ideal. And the last thing that's going to make this interesting is that from looking at the satellite images of the route, our campsite is going to be somewhere near a steel mill or a steelworks in a bit of brownfield site, which isn't a luscious babbling brook, I think, that we were envisioning. But yeah, apart from that, it should be a good trip.
I'm just ready to walk the River Don.
Yeah, let's do it. So it's almost 1 o'clock now. I think we've done about 6 or 7k this morning, which hasn't been bad going. The walking's been really easy, and apart from this little hill taking us to the next footpath, whoops, it's been really flat. I think in total there's only like 130 meters of elevation across the whole 40k, and that's kind of one of the reasons we chose it, is because we were expecting terrible conditions, but it's been really nice. Probably going to stop and get some lunch soon, as soon as we find this path. So we just popped into Mexborough for some lunch. Got some chips as well, which isn't the most wild meal, but it was pretty good. Yeah, we've got a Capri Sun and some goodies there, including a baguette. Plan for the rest of the afternoon is to get out of Mexborough, find a good campsite, and pitch up for the night.
Anyone know how to make a bridge really fast?
It's about 4 o'clock now, it's getting quite dark, and we thought we were going to get to the campsite, or the camp spot, but turns out there's no bridge, and what we thought was a bridge was actually a weir, so there's no way we're getting across that. We're going to walk back on ourselves a little bit further to try and find a spot around here. It's pretty quiet, and then we'll find a crossing tomorrow morning.
Woo!
We also crossed the railway line as well. It's not the ideal spot we would have liked, but it will do for tonight. We're going to have an early night, and then probably get moving, find a bridge first thing tomorrow.
Find a bridge, have some noodles tonight.
Yep, get some coffees, and yeah, on to Sheffield tomorrow.
Yay!
GM.
Good morning. First night I left my shoes outside and now they're very, very wet. So I'm just putting them on. We couldn't find any coffee sachets in the shop, so we made our own vegan coffee bombs, compromising on the finest coffee granules.
Kenko, baby.
And some icing sugar because we couldn't find any sugar in the house and we couldn't be bothered to go back to the shops. So that's about to go in our coffee. Woo!
So last night we went to bed pretty early. I think we got in the tent probably around 5 o'clock, listened to a podcast or two, probably were asleep by 8. It wasn't as cold as we were expecting, thankfully. It definitely didn't get below 0. We both slept in our insulated coats and it seemed to be okay. Around 1 o'clock it started raining. As you can see, we made the fatal error of not going back and tightening the stakes in the tent. So it's got a little bit wet through the top. That side's not so bad, but we come around to this side. Yeah, little bit wet. Thankfully it's just an overnighter, so we don't have to worry about getting into a wet tent, but definitely a lesson to learn for next time. And Eve spilt our noodles last night too. Plan for today is to first of all get across the river, find the nearest bridge, which I think is back the way we came, probably about half a k. And then get back on the route. I think it's around 15-20k to Sheffield, and we go through Rotherham as well, which is going to be really exciting.
Rotherham.
This morning's been a bit of a debacle, to be honest. Finding a bridge over the river was much tougher than we anticipated, and after having to make a few U-turns and doing a lot more road walking than we would have liked, we're finally back on the path. Passed through a McDonald's, which was good, had some chips and got a coffee. I'm just heading into the centre of Rotherham now, and then we should be at Sheffield kind of by the afternoon time. Hey. The weather's been okay. It's not great, but it's not chucked it down or anything.
Just a little grey.
Just a little bit grey.
Hi.
We made it out of Rotherham, back onto the canal paths. It's probably about 10-12k, I think, to get to Sheffield. It's the last kind of leg now. Rotherham wasn't much to look at, to be honest. It's kind of what we expected. Definitely not New York, as that girl in the Arctic Monkeys song apparently thought. The weather's been drizzly, not too bad. Not too bad at all, considering we were expecting it to be chucking it down all weekend and potentially snowing. Quite nice walking, very flat still. Last little leg, should be there by 4 o'clock. So coming into the last couple of k, we're pretty much in Sheffield now, so it's just getting to the station really. The walking today has been pretty good, probably not as good as yesterday. I think if we had to make a recommendation, it would probably be to do the first half from Doncaster through to Rotherham.
Yeah.
Today it's been quite a few industrial areas, to be honest, which is to be expected when you're walking along waterways and canals, but a bit too much road walking for our liking, I think.
Yeah, civilization.
Yeah, too much civilization. It's been a good trip though, really good one to end the year on. I think it's probably our last one for the year before everything gets a bit too cold and a bit too dark.
Sheffield, here we come.
Sheffield, here we come.